What's going on, beautiful people? Thank you for tuning in and watching. I appreciate your appreciation of my videos, and I love every single one of you guys. And I want to talk about reincarnation. And I'm not here to convince anyone of reincarnation. Here is scientific evidence, scientific backing. No. For me, at this point in my life, it's a no-brainer. Reincarnation is life. It's like for me, it's a no-brainer, right? If you're someone who is very scientific, with a scientific mind, everything needs to be proven and etc., look into Ian Stevenson's work. Just go look up Ian Stevenson reincarnation on Google. It is mind-boggling. I don't know how else more evidence there is for it. Anyway, that's beside the point. I think the audience I'm talking to, you guys at least entertain the possibility of reincarnation, if not already work based on that model. And here is where it gets very interesting. If you're working through life not with the reincarnation model, but with the model that this is all there is to life, there's nothing else, we don't really keep popping in and out, and it is one life, and it ends, and either I go to hell or heaven, or nothing happens, right? If you're having a nihilistic view of things, then that's it. I die, boom, no more consciousness, nothing. Versus if you go through life from from karma and reincarnation standpoint, it's like that's like living two different lives, and I'll tell you why. The idea of reincarnation implies that we're trying to get somewhere. You see? Otherwise, why else do we keep popping in and out from one vagina to another, to one vagina to another? There has to be something, a game that we're perhaps working towards, and that's exactly what it is. The point of reincarnation, the point of popping in and out, in and out, in and out, is so that we can evolve our consciousness. This is the real game. I made a previous video on it, which I called, I believe, it's not even up yet, but it's going to be called already, you've probably seen it, How to Play the Game of Life, or the Game of Life, whatever. That the actual game we're playing, the game of life, is the evolution of consciousness game. That's the real game. And that's the whole point of reincarnation, is you pop in, try to level up a little bit, try to see things less from an ego's perspective and more from the whole, from love, from awareness, from oneness, a standpoint like that, right? And each time you come in, you're faced with different challenges. So you might come in a lifetime as a mother of 6 children, and perhaps your lesson is to take care of these 6 children and give them as much love as possible. And if you do that, and you're able to sort of remove yourself to the best of your ability out of the equation and say, my life is for my kids, I'm going to provide with them, I love them, and I can't wait to see them grow. And when they grow, you let go of them because you're like, this is life. Then you're looking at things less from an ego's perspective. There you go, lesson learned. Consciousness, evolution, boom, step forward. You come back into the next incarnation, and now you have the XP points, the experience points from the previous incarnation, and you were successful. However, if let's say in the same situation, you're a mother of 6 and you're complaining and you're whining and it's all about me, and you don't really give your kids all that much attention, and not attention, love, right? And you're always feeling like you owe them something. If you feel like they owe you something, they owe you something. If your kids grow up and then you as a mother in this incarnation feel like your kids owe you something, then yeah, like that's exactly why you're incarnating here, to figure that shit out, to let go and see things more from a holistic point of view, and see that it's all about love and unity and oneness and letting go and surrendering. That's just one example. That's just one scenario, right? And another scenario, you incarnate as like a wealthy person, for example, or forget it, as a poor person, right? And now you have certain lessons. You might grow up in poverty. There's certain lessons for you to be learned. I don't know what these lessons could be, but always the underlying message is you try to be less selfish. That's ultimately the evolution of consciousness. Less selfish, less egoic, more loving, more caring, more holistic, living life more holistically. So that's the thing with incarnation. Every time, the thing is, like, what's interesting about reincarnation, and if you choose to live your life based on the model of reincarnation, is you come to realize that you're really everybody. Because you look at the old sick man and you say, well, I probably had an incarnation like that before. And maybe I will have it in this lifetime. Maybe I'll become that old sick man that's full of diseases. Or maybe in a future lifetime. And you look at the beautiful, sexy girl from, like, the point of view of society. Oh, big titties, big ass, big lips, just beautiful, magnificent. And you say, I am that hot girl. Because not probably, like, the model of reincarnation, especially in Hindu practices, even in Buddhism, like Buddha, for example, it is believed that he incarnated something like 99,000 times. So yes, you not probably, you experience all of these things. That you experience being a hot chick, you experience being an old sickly man, you experience being a top level athlete, you experience being someone in absolute dire poverty who doesn't even have clean water and no food. You experience being starved to death. You experience killing. You experience being killed. You experience all of it. You're all of it. You are absolutely all of it. And with each incarnation, you try to raise your awareness a little bit. You might be thrown in one incarnation into like a war-torn country, and everybody goes to battle, and then now here's your challenge. Your challenge is, why am I even going to battle? Why am I even going to kill these people? Like, you're thrown into this war-torn country, everybody's here, fuck these guys, let's go kill them. And now your challenge is to be like, do I raise my arms and kill these people, and why? And if you choose not to, then there you go, XP points. You gain in the game. This is a game. Reincarnation, it's a game. Call it whatever you want. The game of enlightenment, the game of being one with God again. It's a game. It's a game. And let's say you choose, okay, no, I'm not going to raise my arms here. I'm just going to let them be. And because, there's no difference between me and them, then you get XP. The man upstairs likes that, gives you bonus points, and you're good. You go into the next lifetime with this understanding and increased level of awareness of the unity of things, the unity of people, the unity of beings, the unity of creation. And ultimately, the goal of reincarnation is to become a self-realized being, self-actualization. Maslow's hierarchy of needs. The top thing is self-actualization. Self-actualization is you realizing you were never separate in the first place. But realizing it is not enough. It becomes, you have to embody it lifetime after lifetime. And believe me, it happens pretty fucking slowly. Like, honestly, most of you guys watching this, because here maybe in this community, people are more awake to these things, in people watching this video. I don't know, but we've probably been through a lot, and we got ways to go, right? If you see someone who is completely asleep, chances are they just haven't played the game enough yet. See, this, you can't even judge. You can't even say, oh, I'm better than this person because I have a higher consciousness. It's like, no, motherfucker, it's just you played the game longer. That's, of course you're gonna get better at it. Right? I mean, you see it everywhere, take the best fucking athlete, take Lionel Messi, for example. Yeah, the guy's better than me, shit. Better than you because he's more experienced. He's been playing the games all his life. So, really, that's all it comes down to. Being awake, being enlightened. It's just you playing the game longer and gaining more experience. XP points, that's it. That's really all that's going on. So when you see somebody's completely asleep, don't know any of this shit, completely caught up in the Maya, the illusion, thinks this is all there is, and is completely attached and full of lust and greed, then that person just hasn't played the game enough. And give them some time, and they'll wake up too. Give them, maybe 1,000 more incarnations or so, and they'll be more awake. Who knows? I don't know. I'm throwing numbers out of my ass here. But see how it makes all the difference if you choose to entertain and live by the model of reincarnation. Um, like I said, if you want some hard-backed evidence, here it is, I can see it. Look into Ian Stevenson's work. Ian Stevenson, just go look up that name, Ian Stevenson, Reincarnation. This guy's a very scientific guy. He always strained away from using woo-woo language and mystical and you know, hippy dippy terms. He was a very scientific man, and he has 3,000 cases. The evidence is right in your face for reincarnation, right? And I really think those Hindu gurus that developed Hinduism, I think these motherfuckers were high on something. I mean, when I say high on something, I mean they were onto something. I really think so. And same with those crazy Buddhist monks. And I really think the Buddha was onto something. And, you know, if you go to India, everybody lives by the model of reincarnation. I've never been to India. I just know a lot of Indian people, have a lot of Indian friends. And I'm interested in their culture. And everybody in India, if you go to India, lives by the model of reincarnation. So everybody there, not everybody, of course, but people there are more interested in what's my role to play as opposed to what's my personality and what's my social status, right? People there are more generally, again, but it's being westernized now, right? But generally speaking, people there tend to be like, what's my role to play? Because, you know, reincarnation there is a given. They don't have to question it like we do here in the West. It's a given there. And so because they kind of have this innate understanding from when they were kids that, hey, you know, we keep coming back here, and so what's my role to play here? What am I doing here? How can I provide service, kind of thing? And as opposed to what's my personality and my social status, which is, you know, a lot of, like in the West, it's all about your personality and your social status, right? Your fame and etc. etc. But yeah, I think the implications of reincarnation are profound and can really change the way you look at the world and the way you operate yourself. I mean, ever since I started to sort of live by that model, a lot of my worries and my fears of death and my fears of because this ego is finite. I'm gonna die. I am a finite being, right? As I start to entertain, and first it was just an entertainment of the reincarnation model, then I looked into Ian Stevenson's work and I asked myself, because I got these insights and these revelations that, you know, there's something to reincarnation using psychedelics. And then I had this, it resonated with me on a deeper level. Then I looked into Ian Stevenson's work. The guy's work convinced me. And then I looked into some of the reincarnation models in Buddhism and Hinduism. To me, it's a no-brainer right now. It is life. And a lot of my worries about death are relieved because I kind of look at things more from eternity standpoint, right? It's like, oh, you just pop in, pop out, pop in, pop out, pop in, pop out. Every time you get a little better, a little better, a little better. Take it easy. There's no need to rush. There's no need to try too hard. There's no need to take it too seriously. You're gonna get there eventually. Just play more, that's all. You just gotta play more. You're gonna get there eventually. And all you can do is, what can I do in the present moment right now? Which is really just be present. That's all. Like, the thing with leveling up in this enlightenment game, in this game to be one with God again, you can't force it. You know, it's an inevitable process. It just happens, like the caterpillar turning into a butterfly. You can't force it. I can't sit here and force my enlightenment and say, I'm going to level up and I'm going to just, that's it. No, I'm going to free myself from the cycle of death and rebirth, free myself from attachment. It's like, no, you got to go through the cycle and see where you're at right now and honor the incarnation that you're in. Honor what the Tao is doing through you. And don't try to force it, because you're creating another attachment, another desire. You're attaching to enlightenment. You're attaching to this place, right? As opposed to just like, all right, you know, it's gotta happen when it's gotta happen. Like a caterpillar is not like, fuck man, I can't wait to be a butterfly and oh, I'm gonna grow wings soon. No, the caterpillar is just like, all right, caterpillar, I'm caterpillar, caterpillar, I'm caterpillaring, right? Right? And suddenly, out of nowhere, it turns into a butterfly. And I think in the same way, this reincarnation game, this game of enlightenment that we're playing, the game of evolving the consciousness, evolving the soul into love, which is where the soul was originally. I mean, God is masturbating, really. Like reincarnation equals God masturbating. You know, God used to be whole. God said, I'm too fucking bored. I know everything. And there's nothing to be aware of. I need to be aware of something else. Let me divide myself up into these small pieces. And like a puzzle, you just put it back in together. And that's really the game of evolving the soul, the consciousness. And we're all programmed to get there again. Come back home again. It's like we all programmed to get there. So there's no rush. There ultimately is no rush, and ultimately sit back and enjoy the ride and do the best you can in the present moment. Follow the urge, follow what the Tao is doing through you, honor that, and that's all you really can do. Because sooner or later, you'll turn into a butterfly. Except for, you can't force it, you can't control it. It just happens. God bless you all. I love every single one of you guys. You're all amazing. And, I think, as this community, we are helping each other without really knowing and being conscious. We're sort of helping each other climb up that ladder, right? And as always, don't forget to subscribe or you're gonna sleep with the fishes. So subscribe.